This is In the Know for Friday, June 13th, the 164th day of 2025. There are 201 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We'll send you off into the Father's Day weekend, and we'll have the water cooler question. Your chance to win. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beige. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
What people? Go ahead.
Trying to get settled over here.
I was gonna say, what people don't know, you literally just sat down.
Yeah.
That you were.
Like, I was on my feet when you started talking.
Well, your music was playing and you were still on your feet. So
That's true.
I saw a news headline this morning that caused me to go back and investigate your whereabouts the day of June 8th.
Okay.
Because something unfolded at an airport that led me to think that this possibly could have been you. A woman's meltdown at an airport in Italy has been making waves on the internet. The woman had a tantrum at the airport in Milan on June 8th after being told her carry-on luggage was over the weight limit.
Well, I mean, I don't typically. I think I've done carry-on one time.
I started to,
Lesson learned.
but you do travel with a carry-on of some sort.
I do, but not as my only means of.
Sure. Airlines, though,
luggage.
have started scrutinizing the weight of carry-ons, and so that's going to be a thing to come. But when the person was identified as a Chinese tourist, I felt a high level of relief that it was not you. But basically, they have video of her laying on the floor, screaming and yelling because she didn't want to be treated that way. So eventually, they gave her an option. She missed her flight, but she finally gained her composure, and they booked her on a secondary flight. But if anyone knows about heavy suitcases or heavy luggage, it is you would be an authority on the subject without a doubt. So I'm just glad it wasn't you.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I'm glad you didn't go to Milan without me. So he's the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley, and the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Doing well. Did you catch a sunburn yesterday?
Not really. We luckily were
No?
stationed underneath the pavilion or the tent or whatever you want to call it, strategically.
Good.
The
Did
red tent.
you make some winners yesterday?
Yeah, well, we had a lot. I mean, we had probably 6 or 7 winners, but we had a lot of players.
Yes, we did.
Miss Buckles says that people were they were deliberating on whether you were worth getting out of the food line for or not.
That was yes. When I would go over there with the microphone, it's like, ooh, do I want to get out of this long food line?
Yeah, like I give up my spot in line for the outside chance that I might win something. I think they wanted to know what they had to do before, so they could study whether it was worth. Like, do I have the ability to do that? And if not, I'm staying in the line. So glad everyone had fun yesterday. Enjoy this Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the only one of 2025.
Okay.
We typically get 2, 3, and so it's a bit of an odd year that we only have one, what we would consider odd day. So today is the only one we've got. The next one, so June 13th, 2026 will also be a Friday the 13th, and then there will be February, March, and well, wait a minute. That says 2026, but I'm not sure that's right. Next year, February, March, and November, we'll have those. We had 2 last year, 1 this year, so it's Friday the 13th. In case for all those who celebrate. Today's rain chances are ramping up this afternoon. We're going to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. We're going to see some additional downpours for tomorrow and Sunday. We'll see some long-term on and off downpours into next week. We'll see thunderstorms today, a high of 86. Tonight, evening storms cloudy, a low of 69. Thunderstorms tomorrow and a high of 83. We should tell you that Gospel on East Main has been moved to the Grayson County Middle School. So the event that you were expecting to hear this evening on East Main will be moved to the Grayson County Middle School. We do know that that change has been made. So I'm sure there will be a signage or something that if you show up at the wrong place, they'll say, hey, go on over to GCMS where the gospel concert will be. You might also notice today, if you're out and about, that flags are flying at half staff here in the Commonwealth in order to honor a fallen soldier and Marine. Governor Beshear has ordered flags at all state buildings in Kentucky be lowered from sunrise to sunset today in honor of the 34-year-old U.S. Army PFC Tyler Ray of Louisville. He died Saturday, May 24th, while serving on active duty. He was assigned to Company C, 2nd Battalion, and serving at Fort Bragg. Also, 23-year-old U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Joshua Guzman Henao of Clarksville died Monday, May 26th, while serving on active duty. He was stationed at Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Down at Fort Campbell, they've had a deadly training incident. One soldier was killed and another was injured Wednesday evening in what was called a helicopter training incident down at Fort Campbell. The names have not been immediately released, but the incident occurred about 7 o'clock on Wednesday in the Fort Campbell area. So there was one killed, another was injured. So sad to hear about that happening down in western Kentucky. Big international news that at least we all should be paying some level of attention to is the 60-day ultimatum from the Trump administration to Iran to strike a deal with the rest of the Middle East. The 60th day arrived, and Israel attacked Iran's nuclear sites yesterday. And so it's not a matter of if Iran will retaliate, it will be a matter of when. And it's also likely that Israel is not finished striking Iran, trying to eliminate their nuclear program. So what was already a tense area is becoming even more tense. You got Israel and then Hamas and Gaza and the situation there. And now you got it. But now a lot of people will tell you that Hamas and Hezbollah and a lot of these other organizations are being supported by Iran. So that's some of the problem in and of itself. But a tense area, even more tense today, and finding out how that will go. It's amazing to me. We didn't talk really much about the Air India crash yesterday, but it's just remarkable when you see the crash and what happened and the loss of life, and that there was a sole survivor. There was one man who walked away from that crash, and I think he's been hospitalized, but he will clearly have a story to tell. And there have been a lot of theories on what caused this, but then a lot of those theories have been dispelled. Here's why this theory is unlikely. I do understand they found one of the black boxes, which happened to be orange, but the flight data recorded there was a Mayday call. But I don't know if you can deduce anything, but this guy was sitting in 11A. 11A was his seat number, and it was an emergency row, and it was on the window. So he was like right there by the door. So it just may have been complete luck, but I think everybody wants to know, like, oh, well, what seat was that guy in? And it was 11A. So he'll have a story to tell. He'll have a movie made about him, surely, without a doubt. Local motoring public will probably be happy to know, in case you don't already know, that the bridge at Evely on Highway 259 has been put back into service. That late January, early February or so, that bridge that's on Brandenburg Road would be closed beginning February 10, and a full bridge deck replacement project. So it reopened last week, but the bumps on the bridge ends will be addressed at resurfacing time. So they're not exactly finished with that, but they're finished enough that traffic is able to flow across that. So for whatever people were having to detour for that while, sounds like you are free to fly through that area again. Attorney General Russ Coleman says he has joined a group of his counterparts around the country urging Congress to protect the rights of law-abiding Kentuckians to carry concealed firearms. In a letter to the U.S. House leadership signed by 24 state attorneys general, Coleman is calling for the passage of the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, which would establish nationwide reciprocity for concealed carry permit holders and residents of constitutional carry states. Some states allow it, some states don't. Some states have much more strict rules. Kentucky has basically no rules in that regard. You get your permit, etc. The laws of that have changed, over the last few years. So he says that he and the rest of the attorneys general in the letter say they want to give Americans the ability to protect themselves and their families when they travel around the country. And in theory, I guess I would like to know that I could protect my self and my family, my friends, or my community around the country if I were a responsible gun owner and a responsible gun user and found myself in that situation. But I also kind of like to look at the other side of it constitutionally and say, well, is this then tantamount to basically the federal government interfering in states' rights and saying, well, if you can carry a gun in Kentucky, you can carry a gun anywhere in the Union? And I'm not sure that's good. I'm not sure that's bad. I haven't really had time to kind of check that out. But I got to thinking about, we honor driver's licenses like all around the country. If you have a driver's license from another state, we say, well, you seem to be qualified to drive responsibly, so therefore we're going to allow you to drive in our state. I know it's not an apples and apples comparison, but it will be odd to me to see if Congress does this, and I don't really know how I feel. Is it inconsistent with how we do things? Is it consistent with how we do things? I don't know, but at least our Attorney General is in support of them passing that Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. Well, it appears it's official since we've been talking most of the week about it. Vince Marrow is moving from the University of Kentucky to the U of L football staff. Louisville finally made it official yesterday, and UK finally had words about it as well. So now we know Vince Marrow, age 55, moving from the University of Kentucky football program to U of L. He's been on Mark Stoops' staff for all 12 years that Stoops has been there. So there were a couple of quotes. So here's what Vince had to say. Said, I have made lifelong friendships during my time at UK, and I have every desire to keep those relationships. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to stay in this state. My hope is that I left the Kentucky football program in a better position than when we started. I will always be grateful for my time here. Ultimately, my goal is to win a national championship. I'm very confident that we can accomplish that goal at U of L, and I can't wait to get started. I didn't know until earlier. I knew he was recently married, but I did not realize that his wife is Dr. Capilouto's assistant.
I think was.
So, was.
At least
that's
what Matt had clarified with, was.
It was. Okay. All right. So when I heard that news, I thought, well, then that clearly, if she's employed by the University of Kentucky and that's where they met, and she's probably from this area, that is more of a deterrent for him to want to go off to Michigan State or Michigan or another program. He's looking for something more local and regional so that he can maintain his life in Kentucky, even if not at the University of Kentucky. And I think he says that. He says, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to stay in the state. She's part of it. That's where they've been for he's been a dozen years, et cetera. Now, conversely, the only statement that I've seen from the Kentucky side of the equation is this from Stoops. As we look to the new season and a new era of college football, we're focused on the opportunities in hand. We will continue to build a roster and staff that balances talent, experience, maturity, physicality, and the attitude it takes to win in the nation's most competitive conference. All right, so that's part A. Then part B, I wish my friend and colleague nothing but the best. So he has to say that, and I think that he genuinely means that. But there's something in this. I don't know that it even requires a whole lot of reading between the lines. But what was your takeaway from the first part of that statement?
Well, I thought you were asking Christy. No.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I don't. I mean, for one, Mark Stoops didn't write that.
Correct. Surely he signed off on it.
Yeah, I mean, Susan Lax, his head of media relations, I guarantee she wrote it. He probably said, this is kind of what I want to say. I mean, what pretty much these coaches do is they use like a chat GPT, but the thing is a chat GPT is an actual human being. They say, this is what I want to say, and then they say, how's this sound? And he says, let's do this instead. And then, okay, there you go, done. I mean, it's pretty much the same exact thing. That's what media relations does for those. And he probably trusts Susan Lax, who's one of the more well-respected, media relations people in the area. So right. How much of that really coming from the heart? But it's also like, do we really expect him to be like, oh, screw Vince Marrow, he's dead to me now? It's all just semantics. And I mean, Vince was on this morning on a radio show, and he said that him and Stoops are probably going to sit down and talk at some point, and they'll hug it out, and it'll all be okay. But
who knows? Stoops may be on Brom's staff too a year from now. We don't know. I know that's unlikely, but the likelihood of him being at the University of Kentucky, very slim at this point. But that's one of the reasons that I kind of want to know. That's the reason that the statement, no matter whether Susan wrote it or he wrote it or an intern wrote it, what you say at this point matters to a fan base who hasn't heard anything from you in a very long period of time, and certainly nothing about this issue. And in a time when so many people didn't renew, and the rest of us are sitting back on the fence waiting like, okay, you're going to have to show me something. It is vital that they get the messaging on this right, or they're just further digging this hole that they're working themselves into.
I mean, Matt Jones was right too when he said that if they were being smart with this, Stoops would have been on KSR this week. He would have been on Alan Cutler's show. He would have gone on all of these shows to kind of do some mending some bridges and so on, and trying to tell the fan base like it's okay, we've still got this and so on. Like you got to try and save face. Hiding is not a great way to handle this.
No, see John Calipari. I mean, it's exactly the same way. I just don't. The longer I don't see him or hear anything from him except this statement that anyone could have published, physically actually published, the more credibility it gives to me that some of the things I'm hearing about off-field and off-campus behavior, there could be some credibility to that. And
what's Ryan Lemon's line? If it looks like duck poop and smells like duck poop, guess what it probably is?
Probably is.
Yeah.
We did learn yesterday out of Louisville, their side of the SEC ACC challenge is U of L is going to play Arkansas. So, which is a dilemma for Cat fans, because do you want Louisville to win or do you want John Calipari to win? But why is that even a question?
Well, go.
I understand where you are.
Yeah, go
on that.
Go Arkansas, absolutely that night. Yeah, 100%.
For Louisville fans, then it's like, oh, it's the return of Kenny Payne. So, there's a lot of extra going on there for their side of that. And then Kentucky learned that they will host North Carolina in their version of the SEC challenge. ACC challenge. Also learned that John Pelphrey is coming back to Rupp Arena in his 7th season at Tennessee Tech in the upcoming season. Kentucky has a 5-0 record against Tennessee Tech, so Pelphrey will be looking to spoil that. And then Murray State continue to getting all the love. National publications, AP stories, etc. They are the darlings of the College World Series, which gets underway. When do they play, Sam? When's their first game?
Louisville and them. One of them plays tonight. One of them plays tomorrow afternoon. I don't know who's who.
I know Louisville plays tonight.
Okay, then Murray's tomorrow afternoon. Then I think
Murray's tomorrow. All right, very good. College World Series underway out in Omaha. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk Father's Day coming up here on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County, because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
The mobile unit from Intensive Health brings trusted, high-quality addiction treatment right to your community. Serving 5 counties, including Grayson, our innovative services offer telehealth treatment, mental health counseling, medical health assessment, primary care, and general medical services. We also offer hepatitis C and HIV screenings and treatment. No more long travels for essential care. We are discreet and accessible. Visit intensivehealth.com to find out more. A StepWorks recovery service.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 18th. Visit kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Cool off this summer at Litchfield Aquatic Center, featuring 2 3-story slides, or grab a tube and take a trip down the lazy river. There's separate tot and toddler pools with lots of great water features like fountains and slides. Plus there's even a lap lane. LAC is great for groups or individuals, and pavilion and facility rentals are available. Get a group of friends or the whole family together and spend an entire day at the Litchfield Aquatic Center on East Carroll Gibson Boulevard in Litchfield.
Living on the lake is a luxury. Lake homeowners have been supplementing their properties with the best quality rock, stone, and asphalt products from Scotty's Contracting and Stone for years. Scotty's Quarry has been serving our lake customers with cleaner, underground mined, pure limestone for driveways, landscaping, and construction projects. Our crushed stone products can also be used to assist in erosion control near waterways. If you live on the lake, contact Scotty's Contracting and Stone for an estimate on high-quality products and service at 270-259-5696.
Smith Overhead Door is redefining entryways in Litchfield, where every click of the remote promises reliability. It's not just about opening doors, it's about lasting assurance. We offer a service that inspects each part, making sure your door system thrives. With our service agreement, with inspections up to 4 times a year, we spot the signs of wear before they whisper a problem, saving you more than just peace of mind. Opt for a 2-year plan and the savings rise. Make sure you get out the door with Smith Overhead Door at sohd.info. We're not just opening doors, we're opening possibilities.
Apple's new liquid glass look is getting mixed reviews. Some complain the new user interface looks unfinished and notifications are too hard to read, especially on the lock screen. TechCrunch reports people with vision challenges may find it very difficult. The home screen animations are also being criticized. TechCrunch added that Apple will likely improve these issues in the next OS update and over time. Robotics startup Bedrock Ocean has raised $25 million to send its autonomous underwater vehicle to map the ocean floor. Traditionally, large ships that were operated by humans and that negatively impacted the ocean environment have been used to attempt ocean floor mapping. Bedrock's environmentally friendly AUV can operate up to 12 hours on a single battery charge. And Nintendo's newest video game console is breaking sales records. The Switch 2, released last week, managed to rack up more than 3.5 million units sold in just 4 days. That makes it the fastest-selling console in the history of the company. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is Friday the 13th, of course. It's Weed Your Garden Day. It's Sewing Machine Day. Cupcake Lovers Day. Tomorrow, Bourbon Day. Tomorrow, Strawberry Shortcake Day. Flag Day is tomorrow, of course. It's the 14th. Sunday is Father's Day. Fly a Kite Day. Lobster Day coming up on Sunday. Oh, Father's Day. Celebrating, and Father's Day not as old as Mother's Day. Doesn't quite get the same big treatment. And it's not the same day every year like Flag Day is. It's the third Sunday, and it's funny. Originally, it was not long after 1908 when Mother's Day was created, and really not until official presidential proclamation in 1972, it was more informal. The first known Father's Day occurred in a Fairmont, West Virginia on July 5th, 1908, after hundreds of men died in the worst mining accident in U.S. history. but the observance didn't become an annual event or nationally observed event. Then she is a lady named Sonora Smart Dodd from Spokane, Washington, was inspired by Mother's Day and came up with the idea to set aside a day in June to celebrate dads. She decided to have it on her dad. She wanted to have it on her dad's birthday, which was June 5th. And it was the pastors of the world who said, nope, we're doing it the third week of June to give more time between Mother's Day and Father's Day so they could prepare better sermons.
Oh my goodness.
So that's why it's one
Okay.
of the reasons that we have it. So we'll be celebrating dads coming up this weekend, or some of you will be celebrating.
It's an early Father's Day too.
It is. Yeah, it's when, it's obviously it has to be that way because the Sunday, the 1st, with the arrival of the new month. But typically it's higher in the teens. It is also typically associated with the U.S. Open. They always figure out a way for the U.S. Open to wrap up on Father's Day, so it's kind of cool to do. Here are some quotes about dads from their kids.
Okay.
Some funny, some sincere. The older I get, the more my dad seems to learn. It is
Guess
weird
it's
how
better than
there's something about
forever.
dad brains when their kids get around 14. Suddenly they become very dumb. I don't know why that is. And then all of a sudden they get much more wisdom for some reason. I don't know how that happens. Dad, I wish I'd inherited your ability to fall asleep anywhere at any time.
But yet wake up if you change the TV channel.
Hey, what was that? What was that? I was watching that.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
I'm smiling because I have you as a dad. I'm laughing because you can't do anything about it. Dad, thanks for saying yes when Mom said no. I wouldn't trade anything for my dad. Then again, no one has offered me anything yet. My dad taught me everything he knows. That's why I know nothing.
Oh, there you go.
And life doesn't come with instructions, but it does come with a dad who always answers my calls. So get a mixed bag of those. And for those of you who are looking for a good dad joke or a pun to write in your dad's card or in your text you're sending to your dad, I have a few of those coming up that might fill the bill.
Oh, I know Alea loves those, doesn't she?
She does. She just wants
She
to act like
does.
she doesn't like it.
See, now I'm a little disappointed since I saw her yesterday. I had forgotten to load up my my joke gun for her.
Yeah, on your one-liners. Well, it appears you were busy.
Yeah, we were. we were.
We were. It was fun though.
Gen Zers are swapping their smartphones for the BlackBerry.
Oh, you're coming back in style,
I
honey.
am needing a social media detox. Young folks are desperately trying to reconnect with the world around them.
So
And the method they have chosen is the dumb phone. And it's not a dumb phone. It's just not a very bright phone.
is the belt clamp going to come back then?
No, I think they're wearing theirs around their neck like Flava Flav.
Oh.
They're
'Cause
big enough like that.
Am I right in saying that you were a belt guy? Did you clamp it to your belt?
Yes.
I definitely
Yeah.
was because
I was going to
that
say, I can
was
see
just-
that, yeah.
That was just the way. By the way, the iPhone changed all that. Before the iPhone, most all of your mobile phones were that way because of the way that they were constructed. They came with those things. Like the Motorola Razors came with that. Some of the early phones that were texting with the QWERTY keyboards, they did that.
See, I never, because I mean, like my first phone was a flip phone, was like a Nokia something, and I did not have a clamp, and then I had like a one of the slide phones that had the keyboard. Then I had a knockoff BlackBerry as well, but I never had the clamp for it.
So what's interesting is that, for me, my mileage is that I was, because of my device and living through the evolution of the devices, I was a belt clip person just because you didn't lose it, you had it with you. And then when I switched to an iPhone, I don't do that because the iPhone is durable and it's rugged and it's just typically in my pocket. But it is odd that I think the older men get, the more likely their phone is to be on clip to their belt. But I'm kind of the Benjamin Buttons of the world in that regard. So it's interesting.
I wonder if it's going to make the same noise.
Oh, the click, click, the clackety, clackety, clickety, click. The last version of the BlackBerry that was manufactured was probably quite. Now, I got out of the BlackBerry game before BlackBerry got out of the BlackBerry game. That primarily was because I wanted to be a cool blue texter.
Right.
No, it actually did have more to do with
Need you to be a cool blue texter.
co-locating music libraries, etc.
Yeah.
When we started being on the same phone plan, it just made sense for the sharing of apps, the sharing of data, just organization of life. And so you brought me over to the Apple side, and I have never looked back. But it does mean that I may have a box of very valuable equipment across the hallway.
Lord knows there's some things over there.
There definitely are things over there. I guess it makes sense. There clearly were some apps on the BlackBerry. You clearly can text. You clearly can do a fair amount of surfing. And guess what? You can even make a phone call on it. It has the ability to make a phone call. It's kind of cool. But it doesn't have TikTok, and it doesn't have Snapchat, and it doesn't have Instagram, and it doesn't have Facebook, and it doesn't have, I presume that it doesn't. So they're trying to split the difference in, they're not trying to be blasted back to the little house on the prairie, but they're also not trying to live in the TikTok world.
The wild card with this, and to why I think people are going to bounce back, is the one thing that the iPhone has. I mean, it would be nice to not have the social media on there sometimes, but the camera quality.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, you got to think that BlackBerry camera quality, I mean, the iPhone camera quality is incredible.
Oh, yeah, it's very good and gets better every time with every iteration. They do a better job with it. So you'll be right. That's the thing they'll be missing. I would presume that what they're doing is they are carrying a BlackBerry at the times that they want the ability to leave their phone somewhere but not be completely unreachable or unable to reach someone. So I would propose that the BlackBerry is in addition to rather than in place of, and you would use it when times are appropriate to be able to do so, when you're just trying to step away from the world just a little bit. So I also, you all wore sunscreen yesterday, I'm sure, while you were at the Aquatic Center, and probably kept the kids lathered up as well. You might actually be better off wearing SPF for kids. There are 3 main types of sunscreen that you'll find on store shelves in the United States. One is physical, one is chemical, and then there's combination. The physical is obviously, it's just the screen, like the zinc, the big white patches that you see, that's a physical barrier between the sun. And then they use a chemical that does something similar in the on the chemical side, and then a combination on the combo. The one value, or the one great benefit to using kids SPF is that it's typically formulated for kids or babies and are gentle and don't have any known skin irritants. So it's better for your skin, probably, and adults can use it.
Okay.
They used to just have sunscreen.
Yeah.
And they had to convince the world that they needed to use it, and they finally did. And then they said, we can make more money if we create a variety that's just for kids.
And it just goes on and on and on.
That's where they get you.
Yeah.
So, Father's Day coming up on Sunday, and we don't miss an opportunity to throw out a good dad joke or two around the show. What are Dad's favorite Father's Day treats? I'll be asking Alea this on Sunday. What are Dad's favorite Father's Day treats? And she will know the answer is popsicles. Popsicles. Hey, Pop. Why do dads bring an extra pair of socks to play golf on Father's Day? Sam
There's a
knows
hole in
this,
one.
in case they get a hole in one.
Yeah, there we go. That makes sense.
Why wasn't one Father's Day gift better than the other? It was a tie.
Oh.
How do dads like their steak on Father's Day? On a plate. Father's Day puns. If you're trying to jot one down in a card or in a text, you did a great job raising me. You are very qualified to be the best dad ever. Your dad yolks are excellent and always crack me up. Everybody likes a good egg joke.
Okay.
And then here's a riddle for your dad. You can see if you can stump your dad on this one. 2 fathers and 2 sons go on a fishing trip together, all in the same boat. they each catch a fish for a total catch of 3 fish. How is this possible?
Say that again.
Two fathers and 2 sons go on a fishing trip together, all in the same boat. They each catch a fish for a total of 3 fish. How is this possible?
Oh, it's grandpa, dad, and son?
Yeah, there's 3 men, grandfather, father, which is the grandfather's
Okay.
son, and then the father's son. A father has 5 daughters, and each daughter has 1 brother. How many kids does he
Oh,
have in
gosh.
total?
It's too early to be doing this math.
Right? I'm not, yeah.
This is the last one, I promise. This is the
Say it
last-
again.
This is,
Okay,
it's the last
repeat.
riddle. A father has 5 daughters, and each daughter has 1 brother. How many kids total does he have?
6.
6.
That's correct.
Okay.
You all got it. You didn't fall for it.
Okay, you said that was the last one.
Well, the Father's Day one-liners. My dad used to steal soap, but he eventually came clean. My father doesn't like trees. He thinks they're shady. Slim Shady. My dad's computer caught a cold. He must have left a window open. And my grandfather got fired from the keyboard factory. He wasn't putting in enough shifts.
No, those are
There's some
painful.
good one-liners for you. Hey, your dad may like them. You may have a quirky, corny dad, and he may just think that's hilarity. So there you go. Take it if you want it. Leave it if you don't. The water cooler question coming up. Your chance to win coming up right here on In the Know.
Litchfield Tourism presents Gospel Music on East Main. Join the Edwards family as they welcome the Porter family from North Carolina and from Florida New Road to Friday, June 13th at 6:30 on East Main Street in Litchfield. A free gospel concert sponsored by Litchfield Tourism featuring the Porter family and New Road 2. This Friday at 6:30 on East Main in Litchfield.
Did you know there's money available to help you pay for trade school or college? Yep, and all you need to do is fill out the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. Completing the FAFSA costs you nothing but time, and it can pay off big. And there are experts across Kentucky who can help. For more info, visit gearupky.org/money. That's gearupky.org/money. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 30 to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works. Call 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services, Inc., 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 80092. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action, not a loan company.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Midway Pharmacy doesn't have the largest selection of perfume, and that's likely because they spend more time making sure you're healthy and less time making sure you smell pretty. At Midway Pharmacy, you're getting more than a pharmacy. You're getting a pharmacist who's committed to working with you on all things health-related. Because your health matters. Experience It's what matters the most when you visit any county-wide location of Midway Pharmacy.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast this afternoon, and we'll see highs today in the 80s across our region. Once we get into tomorrow, additional rounds of scattered showers and storms back into our forecast, especially tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll see another batch of storms showing up on Sunday. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Don't miss the hottest songs in the country, American Top 40 this weekend. We hang out with Role Model and hear about his song that's all over TikTok. Plus, Morgan Wallen scores a big debut with Tate McRae. It all happens this weekend on American Top 40.
Did you know avocados never ripen on the tree?
Interesting.
To get an avocado like you want to eat it, it must be picked first from the tree.
I wish I had more avocados.
No, the avocado has the kind of the dimply kind of skin to it. That's the ripening process because I think they're smooth on the outside while they're on the tree. And then, you have any avocado pits growing right now? You typically
growing.
No, not growing. That's typically something you try and do. to
They
see
were
if you
laying up there. I don't know.
No, not any longer. Here's
No,
today's
they're up there. I just haven't started.
Here's today's water cooler question. If you or your household have not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. Going to text your answer to 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. Sam, did you make some happy theme park ticket winners yesterday? Were they delighted to get to go to Beach Bend or Holiday World?
I would say so.
Oh, yeah.
Saw some kids that seemed to be happy about it. Here's the question. 6 in 10 fathers say they're better than their own at this. 6 in 10 fathers say they're better than their own father at this. What is it? 6 in 10. 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. Text your answer.
I know I would be in the 4 and 10 on this.
Yes.
Oh, so you're confident now? Okay, well then maybe my answer isn't right.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, you're disqualified.
Okay, well then yes, my answer is wrong.
I presume. I mean, six in 10 fathers.
Oh, you did say fathers.
said
Okay.
that
Okay, no, I
they
see what
are
you're saying.
better
Well-
than their own fathers at this.
All
So
right, well.
I don't know what your answer was, but
I have a feeling I do.
you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm intrigued as to what you think my answer was.
Weekend, I have not a clue, actually, because I hadn't considered it from the very beginning that you would have an answer because of the format of the question.
I heard it the way that he heard it as well.
Oh, yeah? Okay. New movies out in the theater today. Our friend, Mr. Barry Williams, has already seen this. How to Train Your Dragon is out this weekend.
A couple of friends have seen it as well.
He probably will be here next Thursday to stop by, and he can give us a review to back up the tomato meter of 79%. Materialist.
So we're going to have the Barry meter?
The Barry meter.
Or the barometer?
Also known as the barometer or a baryometer. It could be a slight variation of the barometer to be a baryometer.
I think people would pay good money for that.
Is it true that his real name is Barack? Just like Barack Obama? Is it Barack Williams? Is that?
No,
I'm gonna
that
have to ask him
I don't know.
Materialist, Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal. The Unholy Trinity is out this week. And The Life of Chuck. Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill, Jacob Tremblay out today in theaters.
I think Stitch is going down this weekend now. I think How to Train It will bring it down.
Yeah, surely. Because that's where, if you've not seen Lilo and Stitch,
Yeah.
you're probably going to wait. After maybe you're going to take the weekend off and watch Snow White on Disney Plus, and then wait for Lilo and Stitch to come out. Has she shown any interest?
No, but listen, I've heard some negative on social media.
It's lost $200 million. The expectations on it were so low that I've heard some people say, "Well, it's not that bad." If if you can separate yourself from the angle from which they created it and the drama over getting it made and just focus on the story, you might like it. Sam, I thought of you yesterday afternoon when I saw the announcement, the famous Star Wars crawl in the beginning when the words start flying through the sky. And I thought, well, what's this going to be? Once there was only one Star Wars movie, and then there was a trilogy, and then there was a sequel trilogy, and then there was and it was well done to introduce Spaceballs. A new Spaceballs movie is coming from the Amazon MGM Studios. It will involve Bill Pullman. It will involve Rick Moranis. It will involve Mel Brooks. Let's hope Mel can hang on. He will reprise his role as Yogurt.
98?
He's 98 years old.
Yeah.
Grief.
But he was in the announcement. He said, we talked to people, on whether they wanted another Spaceballs movie or not. He says, and we're making the movie anyway, which, very tongue-in-cheek way of doing things. It won't be the same without John Candy, but I'm looking forward to it. It's 38 years ago that it came out. For me, it's a classic because it's just of where I was in life and the age I was when this came out, and being a Star Wars fan and being a mockumentary, not a mockumentary, but it was a satire of Star Wars. But I will tell you, my hardest part about Spaceballs is that I like the Lord Helmet character, but I don't like Rick Moranis. For whatever reason, I have never enjoyed Rick Moranis in
Honey, I Shrunk the
anything that
Kids?
he's done. No, I don't like him in that. I don't know why. There's just something about him that I don't like. I can't put my finger on.
Don't you want to comb the desert?
Sure. I mean, listen, there's so many great lines in there, but I mean, from the mind of Mel Brooks, like if you just go back through his canon, like all the, goodness gracious,
you
all
can't,
the one-liners from Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs and Mercy Me.
I mean, you can't tell me that when you were growing up, you didn't want Spaceballs the flamethrower. Kids love these things.
I wanted everything. I wanted everything Spaceballs. I mean, it was just so good. The Diplomat Season 3 trailer is out. I can't tell you what happens in the trailer because if I tell you, I'm going to spoil the conclusion of Season 2. So it's out there, if you like, and it stars Allison Janney. She's in it, and she's good. Sabrina Carpenter said she explains why she's releasing a new album so quickly after Short and Sweet. She said, I'm at a point in my life where I realize, wait a second, there's no rules. If I'm inspired to write and make something new, I'd rather do that. Why would I wait 3 years just for the sake of waiting 3 years? It's about what feels right. Much easier to put out an album these days than it was 25 years ago. So if you're a prolific artist and you keep throwing out content, do it. Even if you do it a song at a time, there's nothing wrong with that. And gentlemen or ladies, Dua is off the market. Dua Lipa confirming that she is engaged to Callum Turner after months of speculation. So, wish them nothing but the very best in their upcoming nuptials. Got to get to a break. We'll figure out who wins the water cooler question today. We'll have a point to ponder, and we'll send you off into the weekend. Hang on, you're on In the Know.
Raising boys can present some unique challenges for a single mom. So if you're parenting on your own, here's some helpful suggestions. One of the most important things you can do is to surround yourself with a supportive community. That could be family, close friends, or even people you know from work or church. The main thing is don't try to go it alone. You need people who will come alongside you when the going gets tough. Not only do you need support, but so does your son. Every growing boy needs a male role model in his life who can be a positive influence. Now, I know you're working hard to be your son's source of strength, Mom, but he needs to connect with a male figure who can set a good example of what it means to be a man. So ask a family member or a friend you trust if they'll spend some time with your son and mentor him. I also recommend you take advantage of books and other resources that are available to help you navigate single parenting. You and your son are both in store for a lot of changes as he matures and develops. And there is great information out there that can help you avoid some of the potholes you might otherwise hit. And listen, Mom, you're working hard, and I applaud you for your commitment to your son. It's a thankless job many days, but with the right support and influence, I believe all your dedication and hard work can eventually pay off. So hang in there. To learn more about how to parent, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Cool off this summer at Litchfield Aquatic Center, featuring 2 3-story slides, or grab a tube and take a trip down the lazy river. There's separate tot and toddler pools with lots of great water features like fountains and slides. Plus there's even a lap lane. LAC is great for groups or individuals, and pavilion and facility rentals are available. Get a group of friends or the whole family together and spend an entire day at the Litchfield Aquatic Center on East Carroll Gibson Boulevard in Litchfield.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County, because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. What's something that unnerves you, but most people don't seem to be bothered by? What's something that unnerves you, but most people don't seem to be that bothered by?
We don't have enough time.
We don't have those.
I mean, little things.
Yeah, small things. Okay. Sam, you got anything that people like?
I mean, the personal space thing, that's kind of...
I know for her, tomfoolery in the lazy river is one that, of course, it's hard to know whether most people are not bothered by that or not. You took care of it, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Today's water cooler question. Sure did. 6 in 10 fathers said they are better than their own father at this. What is it? So, Sam, what
did she think I guessed?
Yeah, I don't.
Technology.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm definitely better than my dad at technology, without question, and he would admit that. I put lawn care.
Lawn care.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So are you saying you are, or
no.
You think a lot of dads think they are?
Yeah, they because that's like a prideful thing, and I know I would not be better than my dad at lawn care.
Right.
Okay.
Being a father.
Oh.
Being a father is the correct answer. So more than half of guys think they're better than their dads. Here's what I would offer. I'll bet that 90% of dads are different dads than their father because of their experience. But then I think there are a lot of similarities too. You know, I think dads sometimes compensate for whatever they think. Like, well, I didn't get enough of this, or I wish my dad had done this, and then they're more determined to do something that's different than that. So I would presume that to be the case for a lot of dads. Sam, I glanced, but it was like grilling and spending more time with kids, like the obvious stuff that you would come up with. Did anybody solve be a better dad?
Looks like we got, looks like 3. 3 did.
3. I'll choose today. I'll choose 3.
No, you can't pick that one. No, I'm kidding. 33-19 is the winner.
Oh, okay. 33-19. Congratulations. 33-19. On television tonight, gosh, we're going to run out of time quickly. I got to hurry. On TV tonight, TV today will be coverage of the U.S. Open on USA and Peacock. This says it's on NBC, so it may be on NBC this afternoon, but it was on USA yesterday. NBA Finals tonight, Oklahoma at Indiana. Tomorrow is that big military parade in Washington. It's on C-SPAN, the 250th anniversary, the U.S. Army 250th anniversary parade and celebration, which people who don't like President Trump say is just Trump's birthday parade. The Open Championship, U.S. Open is tomorrow, of course. Florida at Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Final is tomorrow. The U.S. Open Championship wraps up on Sunday. And then on the History Channel, series premiere, Hazardous History with Henry Winkler. A look at the toys and daredevil antics that once defined growing up, including explosive science kits, high-flying kite tubes, and more. That might be interesting to watch. You might feel some nostalgia to that. Today's highlight in history, this day, 1971, the New York Times began publishing excerpts of the Pentagon Papers. Birthdays today, actor Malcolm McDowell is 82. Richard Thomas is 74. So he played John Boy Walton. You've seen him play Atticus Finch.
I have.
Tim Allen is 71. Ali Sheedy is 63. Hannah Storm is 63. Kat Dennings is 39. Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen are 38 today. I don't know which one's technically older. Ashley. Well, Ashley would be alphabetically first, so that might be why they have her listed first, but it could be because she was born first. I don't know the answer. William Butler Yeats, the poet, was born in 1865. Red Grange, the old galloping ghost, in 1903. And Mel Parnell in 1922. Not to be confused with the sausage guy. Mel Parnell was a pitcher for the Red Sox.
Ashley is 2 minutes older.
2 minutes.
That's quick.
She's alphabetically first, and she's
quick.
Usually it's about 6 or 7 though. For twins though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Ask Oracle. She knows.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, today, Gertie Mae Buckles is 7 years of age.
Oh.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Gertie. I wished her, I said hello, good morning to the birthday girl a while ago, and she just kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about?
Oh, I see her. Okay, she's at least somewhat in your camera there.
Yeah, it's her birthday. That was, who was that? Was that, there's K-Star. If You Really Love Me, K-Star was number 1 in 1954.
If the sun should tumble from the sky.
She can't climb up that high. She's 7.
I'm just waiting for the day she's third chair over there.
I can't wait. Yeah. If I could figure out how to. Yeah, I don't.
You just need to get her one of those collars like Doug from Up has.
The Crystals, number 1 in 63. The Do-Run-Run. All right, let's go forward to Donna Fargo, the happiest girl in the whole USA, number 1 in 72. Our Moose friends are gone in about 10 seconds, so see you on Monday. Come on, just say the line. Okay, I'm giving up. Let's go to 1981. Ken Carnes, number 1, with Betty Davis Eyes.
Her hair is hollow gold, her lips sweet surprise.
Anybody find it odd that Kim Carnes was singing about Betty Davis Eyes while wearing sunglasses?
Not until now.
Belle Biv DeVoe and Poison, number 1, 26 years ago today.
Good grief.
This is 99. This was all the way to 99. This is not. This can't be 99. No way.
I'm calling foul.
Yeah. Oh, it's 90. Betty Davis Eyes was 81. Poison is 90. I'll buy that. All right. Now, from 99, I think one we're all going to know. Usher, Lovin' This Club in 2008. That's What I Like. Bruno Mars, number 1 in 2017. Hope all you dads have a great Father's Day on Sunday, including my dad. We'll be able to celebrate. I think we're having lunch.
We are.
We're having lunch. All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Where did it go? MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, a father is someone you look up to no matter how tall you grow. A father is someone you look up to no matter how tall you grow. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.